I wish you a pleasant 2026. Here is the first bike test of the year featuring the Hill Mile 2, or simply the 2, which is actually a brand belonging to Engwe. I have no idea why they didn't release it under the Engwe name, but that's beside the point. I received it, tried it out, and had some pretty interesting experiences with it. I'll share all of those in this video, so stick with me. As usual, we'll start by unboxing, then go over the specifications, and after that I'll show you the bike from the outside, what it's like and what it can do. Then I'll share my experiences about what it was like to use this bicycle. Okay, so let's start with the assembly. As usual, it wasn't too complicated since basically everything arrives already assembled in its place. What needed to be installed were the front wheel, the luggage rack, the seat, the handlebars, and the pedals. Everything else was already set, so there was nothing to worry about. As I mentioned, no adjustment was needed for the brakes, and on this bike I didn't have to adjust the gears. It worked perfectly. Obviously, before the first real use, it's worth checking the gears and making sure the brakes are working. You need to inflate the tires to the proper pressure, so you do have to take care of these things, but otherwise there really isn't much maintenance required with these bicycles, and there was nothing that needed fixing on the Mile 2 either. What do you need to know about it? Well, actually, it's a really simple city bike with the usual design, meaning we have a thick frame. The battery is inside the thick frame, the motor is in the rear wheel, and it has a relatively simple gear system with gears only at the rear wheel. There are no gears at the front, it has a very simple shock absorber, and there are no adjustment options at all. We have disc brakes at the front and rear. It's very important to note that these are not mechanical disc brakes but hydraulic ones. And what's also very, very important is that we have rear suspension as well. And what's also very important is the motor, which is 250 watts. But what's much more interesting is that with this 250-watt motor, we get an insanely high torque, at least surprisingly high compared to the competition, not the usual 30 or 35 Newton meters, but 42 Newton meters. And you can definitely feel it, but I'll talk more about that a bit later. Now that we've gotten this far, I'll quickly show you the bike from the outside, how it looks, and then I'll share my experiences. So, as I mentioned, this is a completely average city bike with a foldable frame. Of course, the stem structure is in its usual place. There's also a safety latch on it. We have two wheels which aren't fat tires, nor are they regular city tires, but somewhere in between, which is a really good compromise because they provide a relatively good, comfortable suspension. You can take it on slightly rougher terrain, but if the bike's battery runs very low, you can still pedal and you won't wear yourself out. As I mentioned, the gear shifter is located here at the back, and it has the cheapest Shimano shifter as we're used to. This is the scissor-turny version. Here you can also see the system's gear shift lever. So there's not a whole lot of interesting details to report on about this. The first truly interesting thing is this rear suspension system located right here. This is very important because it allows for a really nice, comfortable ride. The other very, very interesting thing is on the other side, which I have to mention, and that is none other than the hydraulic brake. As you can see right here, it is not a traditional mechanical cable, but actual hydraulic fluid inside. And this means that you get a brake with exceptionally smooth and precise modulation, along with a very pleasant braking force, which is usually only found on much more expensive bicycles. With these cheaper bikes, you almost always get a standard mechanical disc brake. So this is a significant advantage for this particular bicycle. Another positive is that you get a really nice, sturdy rear rack, which can hold about 30 kilos, maybe even more. We have a front light. It's a standard projector light, so again, there's nothing special about it. What is interesting, or rather a shortcoming, is that there is no rear light at all, just a reflector. So it will definitely be worth buying some kind of battery-powered or rechargeable solution for this. The next particularly interesting feature is located right here on the handlebars, because although the brake is hydraulic and we have a full suspension, there is actually one key element missing, the usual dashboard. Right here, we have a very simple and straightforward device. When you turn it on, the screen clearly displays the current battery charge level and indicates exactly which gear you are currently in, or more precisely, which level of pedal assist you are using. You can easily adjust these assist levels by simply pressing this control button right here, downwards, upwards. This button has a light switch and this button has a walk assist function. That's the usual setup. As long as you hold it, the bike rolls alongside you at 6 kilometers per hour. Over on this left side, you'll also locate both a brake lever and a bell. We have a reflector here at the front, which is not a particularly significant feature, and the previously mentioned SIS gear system. Here we have a throttle, which I'll talk about later. And of course, there's a brake lever on the other side as well. This throttle is a really interesting feature because throttles usually work in such a way that you can ride the bike without pedaling if you have a throttle, and that's also the case with this bike. So if you press this throttle, you can move forward without pedaling. However, by default on this bicycle, the throttle actually functions as a walk assist mode. So if you press it, you'll be able to roll along at 6 kilometers per hour without pedaling. I wouldn't dare to guess how legal or illegal this is, because bicycles that have a throttle and can move without pedaling are no longer considered electric bicycles, but rather electric mopeds. However, with those bikes, you usually don't go 6 kilometers per hour, but rather 25 or even 35. With this default setting, you can go 6 kilometers per hour, and as I mentioned, the same function is available here on this side as well. So basically, these are parallel functions, and if this is present on all the other bikes, then maybe this can be here too, and the police won't fine you for it. It's very important, and I have to mention that this function can be locked, just as you can also lock the maximum speed of 25 kilometers per hour. I'm not going to tell you now how to unlock it, but I have written it in my written review, and I also explained why I don't usually promote these unlocks. So, if anyone is interested, just click the link below the video and read there how to unlock this bicycle. I'll go over to the other side and show you a few more things from there, so you can see what the bike looks like up close. One more thing that's definitely worth mentioning is that we have a front suspension. This is a really simple suspension fork. As you can see, there's no lockout function. You can't adjust the preload. You can't adjust anything on it. We have reflectors here at the front and at the back as well, which are, again, good things. And fortunately, on this bike too, we find this kickstand down here, which is really great because when we fold the bike, it won't rest on the chainring, but on this metal support, so it won't damage the chainring. And that's just about everything for the bike. And now comes the part about what it was actually like to daily use it. Let's start with the riding characteristics. The manufacturer claims that with pedal assist, you can go 100 kilometers on a single charge with this bike, which is obviously not true, just as it's usually not true for these scooters and bikes in general. I rode it around for a bit and then checked how much battery it had consumed. I would say that realistically, about half of that is achievable. So if you ride very gently, you might be able to get about 55 or 60 kilometers out of it. But that means you shouldn't go too fast, there shouldn't be any hills or mountains, and there shouldn't be a headwind. So under normal circumstances, I would say you can expect more like 50 kilometers. Apart from the throttle, the bicycle is actually fully EU compliant. The speed is limited, so you won't be able to go faster than 25 kilometers per hour, or obviously you can, but the pedal assist turns off at 25 kilometers per hour. It's very important to note that this is not a torque sensor bike, but a pedal sensor bike, which means that as soon as you start pedaling, the rear motor kicks in immediately, and the amount of torque the rear motor provides does not depend on how hard you pedal. Instead, there is a constant torque that simply turns on and off. That said, during use, this wasn't particularly bothersome, so I didn't really have the kind of problem with this bike where, when I moved the pedal, it felt like it was about to shoot out from under me. I didn't feel at all like it was dangerous or accident-prone to use, which is something I often feel with many other cheap bikes. So from this perspective, it worked in a really civilized way, despite being a pedal sensor bike. What I have to highlight, and it's very important to emphasize, is the 42 Newton meters of torque that this 250-watt motor delivers, because thanks to this above-average torque, the motor doesn't feel like a typical 250-watt one at all, but much stronger. The whole bike is much more dynamic. You can easily go up hills with it too. So in any case, this is a huge advantage compared to the competition. While using it, it was actually really good, very comfortable. It's really great that there's this rear suspension here. Although, as I mentioned, the tires are relatively wide, and that also helps a lot with shock absorption. But having this here is definitely not a disadvantage. So we have suspension both at the back and the front, and even on relatively poor road surfaces, it won't shake anyone apart. Now, I could say that the seat and handlebar position are super amazing, but honestly, there's nothing special about them. They're exactly the same as on all other similar bicycles. So if I had to highlight the positives, it would be the torque, the large luggage rack, the hydraulic brake, which is very, very important, and this rear suspension. A negative aspect might be that it lacks a dashboard, so you won't be able to see the speed you're going at. But that's exactly what makes this bike interesting, because it has features and components that belong to the top category, like the extra suspension and the hydraulic brake. And there are things on it that the manufacturer left out to keep the price low, like the dashboard. So one part of the bike is really quite entry level, while another part is definitely more high end. But I have to say that the manufacturer balanced it all very well, because they put the money and the costs into the specific areas that matter most for riding comfort and safety. So they put really good brakes on it, and very solid suspension as well. And personally, it didn't really bother me that I couldn't see whether I was going 20 or 25. And what exactly does it mean that the manufacturer balanced things well? Well, it means that the price of this bicycle is currently under 220,000 forints. And honestly, I don't really know of any other similar bicycle that you can get for under 220,000 forints with hydraulic brakes, dual suspension, and a 42 Newton meter motor. So if you're looking for a bike like this, roughly in this style, a reliable city bicycle that is comfortable and safe for you to use every day, and if it doesn't bother you that it doesn't come with an odometer, then the Me Too could definitely be the perfect bike for you. Okay, well, that is the end of Zoli's fun segment for now, but if you liked it, you'll be back with us again very soon. Turksi, Ferksi, Kata, Clara, and all the others, save the date. I'll be back to see you. Goodbye for now.